Here at GoAuto, we are lucky enough to test out a new car every single week. But it can be a bit hard to work out what it's really like to live with in just 7 days. That's why we've asked Nissan for this, a Qashqai crossover that we'll be testing over the next 6 months to delve deeply into what it's really like to own.
As Nissan's second best-selling model and one of Australia's favourites in the booming small SUV segment, the typical Qashqai buyer might be someone who's young and single, a young couple, or a small family looking to upgrade if they've outgrown a small hatchback. Being a bit larger overall than some of its competitors such as the Mazda CX-3, Hyundai Kona, Toyota CHR, and let's call it aesthetically challenged Juke, means the Qashqai gets a bit more room in the rear seats, as well as a bigger boot for all the weekend activities.
But if you're actually wondering what it's actually like in day-to-day activities, well luckily we've got this one on hand to find out. Up front, this top-spec Qashqai TI gets a fully loaded 7-inch infotainment touchscreen, complete with satellite navigation, digital radio, and Bluetooth connectivity, but does lack a few crucial things like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Overall, the system's starting to feel a bit dated, especially compared to the offerings from Mazda, Hyundai, and even Honda, but the system gets the job done.
We really dig the shortcut buttons flanking the screen that make functionality that much easier. Take this day and night button for example. But if we're completely honest, the arrangement doesn't really make sense to us. Maybe it's the OCD inside us, but the asymmetrical buttons just feel a bit off. Underneath the infotainment system sits the climate controls, which are intuitive and easy to use. We've got a storage hole here to throw things like your phone and your wallet, while 2 cup holders here do a perfect job of holding large coffee cups because let's be honest, who doesn't want more caffeine? Up above, there's a spiffy panoramic glass roof that runs nearly the entire length of the car. Great for letting light in and making the sometimes claustrophobic cabin feel a little more open. The doors are covered in nice soft touch leather accents, and the door pockets will hold small bottles but struggle to grip onto bigger ones. We really love the steering wheel. It's covered with the same soft touch leather as the doors and the seats, but the flat bottom design looks ace and the buttons feel nice to push. Instrumentation is clear thanks to large dials, and the big 5-inch colour LCD display nestled in between. It's useful for displaying readouts like fuel economy and driving range. Unlike some of its competitors, the Qashqai's cabin is filled with nice feeling, even premium materials throughout the dashboard and doors, highlighted by these gloss black bits and contrasting grey accents. Overall, Nissan's smallish SUV interior gets a big thumbs up, but the lack of smartphone connectivity could turn some away. Like all Qashqais, the top-spec TI is powered by a 2-litre naturally aspirated petrol engine, producing 106 kilowatts of power and 200 Nm of torque. Sending outputs to the front axle via a continuously variable automatic transmission, the Qashqai can't be described as quick. Off the line, the free-breathing engine struggles to get the 1.5-ton SUV moving, while the CVT suffers a bit from the same artificially stretchy character the transmission is known for. Getting up to freeway speeds quickly is especially a chore, as you can see. But once up to speed, the engine and transmission combo does a fine job keeping the Qashqai going. At slower speeds around town, the Qashqai really comes into its own, as the engine is muted somewhat by the stop-start traffic. Steering is also pretty sharp, meaning it's actually fun to dart in and out of traffic as you weave through the urban sprawl. We actually warmed to the powertrain after several weeks with the car, and even managed a respectable fuel economy figure of 9 litres per 100 kilometres in purely city driving, lower than Nissan's 9.2 litre claim.
As for the suspension, Nissan updated the setup last November for a firmer but more controlled ride. While the Qashqai feels more planted and less wallowy than its SUV competitors, the ride can be a bit hard sometimes on these 19-inch wheels and low-profile tyres.
But how does the Qashqai fare in one of the city's most grueling handling challenges?
G'day, could I get a small McOz meal? Yes please. Could I also get a medium quarter pounder meal? And a custard pie please. Thanks so much.
Active safety is also pretty high on Nissan's priority list, as the Qashqai packs all these features. Everything you could want in a new car. Our favourite feature though has to be the surround view monitor that makes parallel parking a breeze and should eliminate all those unwanted wheel scuffs. For most SUV buyers, the most important aspect of a new car is going to be practicality. Nissan says the Qashqai's boot can swallow up to 430 litres, which can expand up to just under 1600 litres of rear seats folded flat. And while we don't have the specific equipment needed to test those claims, we did manage to fit an entire week's worth of groceries into the spacious rear. Look, it even has bag hooks, so your apples don't roll out of the bag and get bruised the second you turn a corner. The Qashqai also features a false floor to hide goodies, but with such a shallow space, we can't see anyone making good use of this feature.
Rear seat comfort's pretty good as well, with plenty of room up top and down below. But admittedly, it's a bit hard to get 3 adults abreast. And back here, there's just no air vents to speak of.
The Qashqai TI's one critical flaw might actually be its price. At $37,990 before on-road costs, Nissan's top spec small SUV is one of the priciest in the segment and is more expensive than some entry-level offerings in the class above.
But then again, the Qashqai TI could be likened to something like a really good burger, sandwiching together high levels of technology, heaps of safety gear, and loads of practical space into one convenient little package.
We look forward to taking the Qashqai out on some long distance driving to see how it really fares on Australia's open roads. But our first 6 weeks with the Nissan crossover bode really well.